Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So there is a good reason why Dislyte decided to remove their esper preview profile video of Valyria, and the reason for that is because they used the wrong stats on Valyria. Let me show you what I mean. So if we take a look at her passive here, Plum Feathers, Valyria gains Snake Shape for 1 turn and grants all allies power reserve for 1 turn. Okay, I'm currently at R2 right now. I went ahead to push her to R2 for 1 turn at the end of her turn. Now, when power reserve effects are triggered, her AP actually increases by 20%. So it was not 10 to 15%. It's actually more than 10 to 15%. It's actually 20%, which means if your entire team takes an AoE attack, she gains a turn instantly. And on top of that, this is what Snake Shape does, plus 30% basic ability damage, which is not her third skill, it's just her first skill. And power reserve, damage taken, minus 50%. It is not 33%. They actually boosted this further, which is even more insane. But there is one thing that you might want to take note of, which is less broken for this in this regard, and that is power reserve is actually a silver rimmed buff. Now, if we remember how Lin Cell worked, okay, so the way Lin Cell works is it's also a silver rimmed buff. Let me just show you. So this is Lin Cell. Let's take a look at Tiger Raw. It's a silver rimmed buff. How does she deplete her stacks? She needs to attack in order for her stacks to be depleted, right? So her stacks actually perpetuate. So if she's stunned, if her AP is reduced forever, her stacks will always remain so long as she do not take an action. So even if she gets stunned, her Tiger Raw stacks will not actually deplete. Now, what about for Valyria? So this is the important question here. So does Valyria actually work the same way as Lin Cell, right? So let's take a look. So what I'm talking about, obviously, power reserve. So this buff only lasts for 1 turn. So one thing that caught my eye is when I used her with someone who could extend my buffs, which is basically my Alice over here. But I wanted to show you in Chronos, but I think I will. Okay, you know what? Let me just show you in Chronos. So let's just go one run here. So at the end of it, okay, animation time. Okay, so this is her third skill. It's just basically a single target nuke. Increases her speed, decreases the enemy speed, and that's about it. So we gave ourselves 1 turn of the power reserve, as you can see here, and what you notice is that it was actually extended by Alice's third skill, which is very sus. So what exactly does that mean, right? You notice that when they take a turn, they actually lose the power reserve. So the thing is, this damage mitigation, while it is very insane, it doesn't actually perpetuate. It's not something that can only deplete when you get hit. It depletes when your allies take a turn, which honestly takes away from its utility by a lot. Like, this really sucks in my opinion. I mean, of course, you can use espers like Alice to extend the buff duration so that in this case, we are going to instantly gain a turn. We're going to get 5 stacks of 20% AP, which means we instantly gain a turn. So if you use espers that extend buffs, like Alice for example, then yes, it is going to be more consistent. But if you're not using espers like Alice, then unfortunately, you're probably not going to be able to enjoy the damage mitigation on all of your espers here. So for example, most of the espers do not have power mitigation. And okay, I lied. Now that she took a turn, our entire team got damage mitigation again. And so she's going to take a new turn. So she's going to take a lot of turns. Do you see that? So we receive an AoE attack from the left follower, and she instantly gained a turn again. She was able to attack once more. So yeah, very nice. But like I said, so I'm actually a little bit happy that they made it tick down, which means it is less useful. It's not the same as like Lotus Mark, for example. Lotus Mark, it perpetuates, it stays on top of all of your espers, and it only gets depleted when your esper gets hit. So this is not the case for power reserve. So yeah, we got wiped over here. Yeah, so like I'm saying, this is not the same case for power reserve. It actually depletes when you take action. And that, like I said, severely takes away from its utility. So just to confirm this fact, we're going to run some espers here. We're actually going to take a turn, and I want to confirm that after our allies lose the buff by just taking a turn, she don't actually gain the AP up. So for example, if we use our third skill here, we gain the power reserve, and if we use one skill, she does not gain the AP, right? Valyria does not gain the AP, Sienna has lost the buff. So in my opinion, this is a big problem for people who want to use Valyria, especially if you're trying to use her in PvP. She may not be that consistent. Yes, she is going to protect your team from a lot of AoE attacks. So if you get hit by an AoE attack, she's going to instantly gain a turn. She's going to buff your team again. And then if you're thinking of reapplying another AoE attack afterwards, but the thing is she has already stolen the turn in between, she's going to protect her team once again. So she is able to perpetuate AoE attacks, incoming AoE attacks. So if the enemy is trying to throw like 3 AoE cleaving skills, she is going to protect you through the 3 AoE cleaving skills. But one big issue is that she doesn't actually start off with the power reserve. She does not. So you have to take the first turn. And the thing is, in terms of like point war, for example, or even, okay, maybe not RTA, but point war, especially when you're talking about cleaving, because you need to outspeed the enemy, that honestly just detracts away from the need of having her to protect you, because you can always use other espers. Like for example, if you already won the speed game, then just cleave, right? You don't really need to rely too much on power reserve to protect you anymore. So yeah, right now, she is definitely less exciting. Okay, so I'm actually quite happy about it. But of course, at the same time, does that mean that she is bad? So now my thoughts about her is that I think she's really good. I think she is going to excel a lot more in, especially in RTA, where cleaving is less common. So the thing is, because in RTA, players are usually going to tank it out. You're not going to cleave it as much. Therefore, she is actually going to be a lot stronger in that regard, especially when she's at, maybe not at, maybe you don't really need her at R6, maybe R2 is good enough. But in terms of other PvE content, I do feel like she is quite good, but not good for new players. Now, the reason why I say she's not good for new players is clearly she is an R2 Esper. If you're not at R2, you're not going to benefit from the team protection. So you need to have an R2 which already erases all the new players from the game, right? Unless you are a new player who is also a whale, then if that's the case, you also do not really need to get her. You could get other options as well. But for the most part, I do feel like she's also quite good in APEP, because with the... No, wait, hold on. I don't think she works in APEP, because APEP dispels all buffs before APEP actually attacks. So she's probably going to gain AP, but she's not going to damage mitigate your team when APEP counterattacks, right? Yeah. But she will surely be useful in some content. That's what I'm saying. So whether or not should you go for her R2, I leave that entirely up to you. Because at this point, I'm still in the testing phase. I can't really say. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on Valyria's case, and that she is not as broken as I thought she would be. If she had a golden rim buff, then oh my god, that would be insane. But yeah, silver rim buff, not that exciting. Okay, anyway, that's it for this video. I will go through the rest of the PTR stuff in a separate video. So that's it for this really quick update on Valyria. Hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been very free to play, and as always, I will see you in the next video. And yeah, feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Oh, but side note, I do feel like Alolan looks pretty nice. If you take a look at his design, very interesting. I like this a lot. And on top of that, his skills are actually quite interesting. Like, he even has buff strip on his third skill, which is very nice. So maybe something quick before I end off this video, right? So Field Gust, his third skill, AoE, cooldown 4 turns, but his passive, if an enemy makes their allies bleed and early, like via cleansing, all of Alolan's ability cooldowns will be reduced by 1 turn, triggers 1 time per turn, which is insane. So if the enemy's cleanse, if like for example Jinyu Yao, right, this skill cooldown is gonna go down to 3 instantly, and Jinyu Yao might only just remove 1 stack of bleed. She's not gonna remove all stacks of bleed, which means if let's say the Jinyu Yao Astro proc, I think if an Astro proc happens, he's actually gonna get his cooldown reduced by 2 turns, which is actually quite insane. He's gonna be able to spam his AoE very nicely, so I do feel like potentially he's actually quite a good counter against the current Jinyu Yao meta, just because it's so heavily reliant on cleansing, and he is probably gonna be one of those espers that's really good against cleansing teams.